Some people use the idea of surgeries and operations to justify a decline and the acceptance of living at a low vibration, whereas others use it as a catalyst to raise their vibration. Hello, and we say a fantastic day for you at this moment of your time. We are the Predian Council. We thank you for allowing this transmission to take place. In which ways can we be of assistance to you now?
Hello, hello. I wanted to ask, what is cancer and how can we cure it?
Well, cancer is a overgrowth of toxic energy. It's an overgrowth of negative attitudes towards oneself. And these energies will manifest in a specific area connected with the metaphysical correlation of those beliefs. Cancer is always connected to a degree of toxic overload, and often this manifests as physical toxins in the body, and therefore detoxification is generally required. It's both a detoxification of those physical toxins and a detoxification of the toxic belief systems.
So where would someone start if they've been diagnosed with cancer? Where would they start, with their belief systems or with a detox?
You have to do both of them. You can't do one or the other. It's both simultaneously. And remember, there are physical constituents, chemical constituents that correlate with the emotions. And therefore, whenever somebody engages in the process of doing physical detox of the body, emotions will come up. If one undergoes processes like fasting, like taking specific herbs, like doing an elimination diet, all of these will cause the body to detox on a cellular level, and those emotions will start to be purged to the system. Now, it depends upon which stage the cancer is caught. There are indeed some points in the process that not much can be done, and the person will either die or undergo a very serious treatment that is necessary. If it is caught early enough, you can do the detoxification processes and do the inner work and bring your health back into alignment. Of course, all of this has to come from listening to your heart's passion, joy, and love, understanding that this disease in particular is one of self-hatred. All sorts of diseases come from living out of alignment with one's passion. Though cancer in particular comes with a sense of deep unworthiness, self-disgust, and different sorts of emotions that are particular to this specific condition. And therefore, you have to address, where does that self-hatred or self-disgust exist? Process the emotions, face them head on, and actively engage in self-love, which is not some passive affirmation, though affirmations can support the active stepping into of what you love to do, what fills you with a sense of purpose, what drives you, what motivates you, what gives you a sense of life and enthusiasm to be here. And often you see with cancer patients that the cancer itself is a gift, in the sense that before they experienced it, they so much lived out of alignment with their passion, and in that sense of self-hatred, that the threat of death was the thing they needed to snap out and start to do things that made them excited to be alive. And in many cases, that excitement to be alive was so powerful that it supported them in healing the disease.
Mm-hmm. There's two cases in my close family where the doctors said, look, there's no cancer, but let's do radical surgical or other procedures as if there would be cancer, just to make sure there's no cancer. And I've been shocked both times. One was a long time ago, many decades ago, and one was last year. And it's the same story. The doctors say, oh, no, there's no cancer at the moment, but just to be sure, let's go through a quite radical medical procedure.
And did it work?
I wouldn't know. I would say in the first case, many decades ago, the personality was changed so much that he's not been normal since. In the more recent case, presumably there's no sign now, but there was no sign before. So it doesn't make any sense to me, these doctors advising this.
Well, understand the doctors operate from a reductionist point of view, not a holistic point of view. And their belief system is that they are capable of solving systemic issues by focusing on specific parts of the body. But this often will cause the emotional dis-ease to be repressed and therefore need to manifest through a different sort of disease, especially when procedures that are so extreme are carried out, in that they cause the body to undergo more stress and need more recovery, and often unconsciously layer on additional shame to the patient.
Mm.
And so the idea again is that a holistic approach is necessary, and the entire body, the entire lifestyle, the entire health routine has to all be reevaluated.
I must admit, I'm still in shock just thinking about it. But personally, I would be very reluctant to take drastic medical treatment because I don't generally go to doctors. I look for solutions inside myself, or we could say spiritual solutions, I suppose, these days. But I always looked for a non-medical alternative solution.
Yes, the idea that preventative care is the best sort of care and allows for a genuine level of well-being and health is what we suggest to all of you. Though remember that you cannot judge others who are not awakened to that level of understanding. You can suggest to them to open their minds to the holistic approach. And sometimes dis-ease is the pathway that some people need to get from their reductionist approach, their materialist approach, to a holistic and spiritual approach. Though not everyone is ready for that sort of pathway.
Yes, I can't help feeling that for some people, they need the badge, the identity of being the victim, of parading this, of really putting it in everyone else's face.
Absolutely, they do. They believe that they do, rather. They gain a sense of validation in a world that is at a low vibration at this time.
And on the other hand, I have been surprised by happy, normal people who, it turns out, had a similar medical procedure at a young age and do not even mention it or think about it. They overcame it and became happy and became very balanced. And it's not in your face at all. It's like, what? That happened in a similar way, but you seem so well.
Some people use the idea of surgeries and operations to justify a decline and the acceptance of living at a low vibration, whereas others use it as a catalyst to raise their vibration. Understand that some people can go through operations, accidents, and all sorts of challenges as a part of their soul path to learn the quality of resilience so that they can hold their energy to be an example of others of that sort of resilience. And their sole purpose is often not necessarily linked with the same capability and functionality of the body that is required for other people living their sole purpose.
So it seems to me the best approach to health is to be healthy and take steps to be healthy and balanced, and not be always going to the doctors who might find something and make a worry that you don't need to be worried about.
Well, we're not saying the doctors are entirely bad. Let's put it that way. Because if you already get yourself into a situation that is already a serious threat to your life, the idea of the preventative care that we are describing is not as helpful as what they might offer. And therefore, in the case of immediate need, it's best to trust the doctors. However, it's even better if you can live in alignment with your higher self, live in alignment with your passion, love, joy, and bliss. Let that energy totally inundate your being so that you never need the doctors. And again, we'll outline everything that brings you to that healthy, happy lifestyle. It is, again, choosing to do what brings you to be passionate, excited, and happy all the time. No insistence on a particular outcome. Again, doing it to the best of your ability. That's the formula. We've talked about it a lot. Next is to genuinely believe that you can be healthy, you deserve to be healthy, that health is accessible, and that your body is supporting you. Genuinely have positive beliefs, positive attitudes towards your body, and investigate the beliefs that you might have that your body is dangerous, limited, or threatened. Move those beliefs with the procedures that work for you, like meditation, energy clearing, therapy, whatever it is that you believe will help you. Simply change those beliefs, change your underlying vibration. And this relates first to beliefs about your health and your body as it pertains to the idea of health. But remember that all of your negative beliefs will limit your health in specific ways. So beyond beliefs about health and your body and yourself, evaluate all specific beliefs and choose to believe that you are in a loving universe with its challenges, with its threats, but that you are a powerful being connected with other powerful beings, able to thrive and do that. Do just that. Then it comes down to the daily habits and routines. And note again that this is the third thing we're mentioning. It's not the very first one, because the first thing is to choose to be in alignment with your passion and act on it. And some people will bypass this step and they will live again in a mechanical way, thinking, eating the perfect diet, doing the perfect exercise routine, taking all the supplements and all of the different things that will create health is what they need, and they get fear-based about it and they overdo it and they end up sick or hurting themselves. So again, the idea of exercise, care for your body, eating right is all important, but you must do it in a love-based way, not a fear-based way. You must do it because you genuinely care for yourself and you want to share your gifts with the world and therefore bring your body into the highest vibrational state possible, not because you're afraid of something going wrong. So, doing these things with care for your body every day, like exercise, perhaps yoga, perhaps swimming, perhaps going to the gym, whatever works for you, whatever you're most passionate about. And eating healthy, and again, the most high frequency foods are whole foods, are pure foods. They are organic or bio or whatever you call them, without pesticides and chemicals. And yes, the more pure in the sense that they are raw, unprocessed, the higher their energy and potency, the higher their nutrients. Yet, remember, you have to be able to digest them as well. And the idea is that oftentimes cooked food makes it more digestible. If you can eat raw food and thrive on that, that is well and good for you. If it causes indigestion, that is not the most high vibration diet, because indigestion will block you. Therefore, adjust to your own belief systems, eating as purely as you can, and make sure that you eat enough, but not overdo it. Drink pure and clean water, and make sure you're getting a clear water source without the contaminants. And breathe deeply every day. Use your breath to clear your body. And if you take care of all of your needs and you live a life of passion in good relationship with the world, you ought to be very healthy. That's it.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Yes. And remember, we'll finally say, if you find yourself in the grip of a serious disease, do some serious detox protocols. Cut out the things from your diet that cause you to be unhealthy. Drink more clean water. Breathe deeper. And find the specific plants and herbs that will help you detoxify from that condition.
Okay, well, that's great. That's quite a download. Thank you so much.
Oh, thanks to you as well. Yes, all right, thanks to you.
Cheers.
Goodbye for now.
Ciao.
On the spaceship of Babel, we are gliding through the stars on a 5-year mission beyond Jupiter and Mars. A celestial encounter on a future Noah's Ark, and you won't hear us coming as we whisper in the dark. There's an Ewok close behind me as we try to disembark here. Obi-Wan Kenobi as we whisper in the dark.